Hello everyone, today I will rank the main villains of every book of Avatar The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. Depending on what channel you're watching this is either a ranking of worst to best or weakest to strongest, because on my main channel, Cracktoon, I will have the ranking of weakest to strongest, while on Ghost Tornado I will have worst to best. So, depending on what channel you're watching this on right now, go check the other video as well if you're interested in how strong characters are or how good characters are. That being said, let's get into the ranking. Just as a disclaimer, I will not count Zuko as a villain as he's more of an antagonist. So, the villain of book 1, the main villain of book 1 will be considered Zhao, because he's actually a villain, not just an antagonist like Zuko. If you thought Zuko will be here, I'm really sorry to disappoint you. At last place we have Zhao. Both has strength and character actually, so I'm gonna use this audio for both videos because, well, you see, in terms of strength and skill and all of that, he kinda lost to episode 3 Zuko and couldn't beat season 1 Aang, which is pretty weak. And in terms of character, he's just a dick. Like, he's not really as imposing as, let's say, Ozai or Azula, but he has the same goals basically of being a great general or whatever. He even is so stupid to try to kill the moon spirit, which would just destroy the whole world as they know it. So just in general, he's not a good character, he's not very compelling. We know that he was someone that studied a lot in the library, and that's why it was basically illegal for humans to use the library, especially for war purposes, but that's about it. He doesn't have much depth to him, or he's not strong at all. So yeah, just as a whole, he's a poop character, strength-wise and character-wise. And the second weakest villain, and it literally destroys my heart to see it, is Zaher, because he doesn't have a lot of good feats. Now, don't get me wrong, he's not really too behind the next opponent. I just think we haven't seen enough from him to be like, yeah, he's definitely above those people, or will be able to beat them in most cases. Because, well, his best feat is fighting Avatar State Korra, but she was poisoned, so it's really unquantifiable how much was she weakened by the poison and how much strength did she have. Like, it's really up in the air. So that's like not a good feat. And then he lost to Tenzin, and then I think he beat Kaya, I'm pretty sure, that's a thing. But like, those are not like amazing feats. I do like him, like he's one of my favorite villains, like in general, in anything. But that being said, he's not really strong enough to be anywhere above, and I'm really sorry to say that. Above Zaher though, we got, well, actually, I don't know if this is unpopular necessarily, because it's like 7 people, so there's bound to be people that are strong yet not very high on this list. And here is Azula. You may ask, wait, why is Azula so low? Well, I'm gonna get into why people above are way higher, but I want to give to Azula the fact that she is competent enough to fight Katara, to fight Zuko, to fight Aang, and to be fair, I don't think she's even that far from like the next person on the list. I think she's actually pretty close, especially in the comics. But I don't really count comics Azula, I really count like book 2 Azula, because that's when she was like in the show, at least in her prime, and she had, I guess, the most importance. Not necessarily the most importance, but she was the main villain of book 2 basically. So that's kind of the era in which I take her from. for this video. And I just don't believe that she's actually as strong as the next on this list, which is Ozai. I mean, what can I say? Ozai is like the Fire Lord. I think he's stated to be the strongest firebender at the time before Aang beat his ass. I think that's pretty good because it put him above Zuko, it put him above obviously Zhao, it put him above Iroh, and it put him above Azula herself as well. So that's a good thing. He doesn't really have enough feats without the comet, so I can't really put him anywhere above the next people. But Azula is below him because he's considered the strongest. I think in a commentary DVD release of the creators type thing, they mention like Firebender, Fire Lord's Ozai was the strongest firebender at the time in ATLA, so that puts him above Azula. So that's kind of the only thing. If it wasn't for that, I would have actually probably put Azula above him, not gonna lie. He is featless without the comet, which I take them without the comet in this video. And boys, there we are. Above Ozai we have Kuvira, the queen. Not literally the queen, but she's a queen, okay? And I'm not putting her this high because I'm simping, even though she's kinda cute though. I'm putting her here because I think she would whoop Ozai's ass, and probably Azula's as well, and definitely would whoop Zhao's ass. Zaher is more up in the air actually because of his different type of powers. But if you ask me, how does she beat those powerful firebenders? Well, she can just put her metal things on their wrists, and then they can't firebend, and they can't really fight it either, because what would they do even? Especially if they don't know about Kuvira, and they wouldn't know about Kuvira. Kuvira can do that to anyone regardless of their bending, and she would try to do that to people regardless of their bending. So that type of style would just make Ozai a bitch basically, and so would the other firebenders, because without their hands, and she can actually even put metal over their mouths, so without like their hands, mouths and feet that she can basically attack and get out of the equation, they can't do anything to her, and that about it. She can just do that and beat them. There's not a lot to it. She's just crazy like that, and I mean crazy strong. And here we are. Above Kuvira we have Amman. It's not a man, it's Amman. Of course it's Amman. He's literally soloing the other people. All he has to do is look at you, and your freaking body will freaking go insane because he can control your blood. Like, did you expect anything else from like, he's the strongest character in the show, the strongest human character in the show, better said. That doesn't have a spirit to help them. Okay, so if you exclude the Avatar, Dark Avatar, and all that, and the spirits, okay, he's the strongest character. He can beat any other human character in the show. No difficulty. He would smack them without difficulty, and that's about it. I don't feel like I need to justify why Amon is so high. He's just the strongest motherfucker there is, and you got to deal with it. And that's about it. Now let's go to the strongest there is in general. And of course, the strongest villain in Avatar is Dark Avatar Unalaq. Because duh. And if you don't believe me, let's go through it. Zhao would be destroyed. He wouldn't even be able to beat base Unalaq. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Azula and Ozai are not even as strong as Avatar State 12-year-old Aang. There's nothing to suggest that they're as strong or strong enough to beat this Unalaq, especially since they weren't strong enough to fight on par with the Avatar state while they were amped by the comet, so they're out of the way. Plus that their fire and lightning would do really nothing. Zaher has really nothing against Unalaq. If so, Tenzin, for example, would have been able to do something, and Tenzin is on par with Zaher. So because Tenzin was there and couldn't beat Unalaq, I would assume Zaher, who's probably weaker than even Tenzin in terms of airbending, wouldn't like do anything either. Kuvira was literally almost killed by a root energy cannon thing. Basically a spirit cannon made from a spirit root or a spirit vine that doesn't even come close to the amount of spiritual energy that something like Vato has. So she would get destroyed very quickly. The only person who people can make an argument for is actually Amman, because you can argue that he can bend the blood from inside the real body of Unalaq that's inside the dark avatar form. But even that would easily be overpowered by Vaatu, because we know that the avatar state can actually overpower bloodbending. So yeah, Amon would get washed as well. And I will argue that Amon solos the other villains, while Unalaq solos the other villains and Amon at the same time, which is crazy. Yeah, he's just a beast. I'm sorry, you might not like him, but he's the strongest. And that's about it. Thank you for watching the video. Go subscribe to Ghost Tornado. See you next time. Bye.